10 mind-blowing psychology phenomena unraveling the secrets of human behavior. Hey there, folks, ever caught yourself wondering why we do the weird and wonderful things we do? Like, what's really going on up there in our minds? Well, grab a comfy seat, maybe a snack, because today we're diving into 10 psychology phenomena that'll totally change the way you see yourself and those around you. Trust me, some of these will blow your mind. Let's get started. Phenomenon 1. The bystander effect. Alright, kicking things off with the bystander effect. Ever been in a situation where someone clearly needed help, but everyone just stood around? Let me paint a picture for you. Back in the 1960s, there was this tragic case of Kitty Genovese in New York City. She was assaulted, and despite numerous witnesses, no one stepped in or even called the police until it was too late. Shocking, right? Psychologists Bibb Latané and John Darley heard about this and thought, what's up with that? So they started digging. What they found is that the more people present during an emergency, the less likely any one person is to help. It's like everyone assumes someone else will do something. This is called the diffusion of responsibility. Think about those viral videos where something happens in public, and people just whip out their phones instead of helping. It's not that they're all uncaring, it's this psychological phenomenon at play. But here's the good news. Now that we're aware of it, we can break the cycle. Next time you see someone in need, be that person who steps up. Phenomenon 2. Cognitive dissonance. Moving on to cognitive dissonance. A fancy term for that uncomfortable feeling you get when your actions don't match your beliefs. You know, like when you preach about healthy living but find yourself demolishing a tub of ice cream at midnight. Guilty as charged. Leon Festinger was the guy who introduced this concept. He studied how people handle conflicting thoughts. Turns out, our brains don't like inconsistency. So, we either change our behavior or tweak our beliefs to get rid of that, feeling. Ever made excuses like, one more episode before bed won't hurt, even though you have an early morning? That's cognitive dissonance in action. Understanding this can help us make better choices, or at least be more honest with ourselves. Phenomenon 3. Confirmation bias. Alright, confession time. We all love being right, don't we? That's where confirmation bias comes in. It's our tendency to seek out or interpret information that confirms what we already believe. It's like our brain's way of saying, see? Told you so. Imagine you're convinced that a certain sports team is the best. You'll pay more attention to articles praising them and ignore the criticism. Or maybe you believe in horoscopes and only remember the times they were spot on. In today's world, with social media algorithms feeding us more of what we like, we're often stuck in echo chambers. This can lead to polarization because we're not seeing the full picture. Breaking out of this bubble requires a bit of effort. Try following diverse viewpoints or playing devil's advocate with your own thoughts. It's a great exercise in critical thinking. Phenomenon 4. The placebo effect. Next up is the placebo effect, proof that our minds are incredibly powerful. This is when a person experiences real benefits after taking a fake treatment, simply because they believe it's real. In medical trials, placebos are used all the time. Participants might get a sugar pill, yet report improvements like reduced pain or anxiety. It's wild. This phenomenon shows the strong connection between mind and body. If our brain believes we're healing, sometimes the body follows suit. But it's not just about pills. Think about those feel-good rituals, like sipping herbal tea when you're stressed. The act itself might be what's calming, more than the tea. Now, ethically, doctors can't just hand out fake treatments. But understanding the placebo effect highlights how our expectations shape our experiences. So, harness that positive thinking. Phenomenon 5. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Ever met someone who believes they're an expert when they clearly aren't? That's the Dunning-Kruger effect in a nutshell. Discovered by psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, this effect explains how people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. It's like that contestant on a talent show who's shockingly bad but thinks they're the next superstar. It's not about mocking anyone, it's a cognitive bias we can all fall into. When we lack knowledge, we also lack awareness of what we don't know. On the flip side, truly competent people might underestimate themselves because they realize how much there is to learn. So, maybe next time we feel overconfident, it's worth taking a step back and reflecting. And if we're doubting ourselves, remember that's a sign of wisdom. Phenomenon 6. The Pygmalion Effect. Let's talk about the Pygmalion Effect. No, it's not a new sci-fi movie. It's the idea that higher expectations lead to better performance. In a classic study, researchers Rosenthal and Jacobson told teachers that certain students were bloomers based on random tests. Guess what? Those students ended up performing better. The teachers' positive expectations influenced how they interacted with the students. More encouragement, more challenges. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. This applies beyond classrooms. In workplaces, managers who believe in their team's abilities often see better results. So, whether you're a leader or a friend, your expectations can genuinely uplift others. How cool is that? Phenomenon 7. The Halo Effect. Ever notice how we tend to assume that good-looking people are also smart, kind, and talented? That's the halo effect at play. It's a type of cognitive bias where our overall impression of someone influences how we feel and think about their character. Think about celebrities endorsing products. Just because we like them, we're more inclined to like what they're selling. In job interviews, a strong first impression can overshadow other factors. But it's not just about looks. A single positive trait can color our perception entirely. Being aware of the halo effect helps us make fairer judgments. Next time you catch yourself making snap decisions about someone, take a moment to consider all the facts. Phenomenon 8. Change blindness. Here's a fun one. Change blindness. It's our brain's tendency to overlook changes in our environment when we're not paying direct attention. Remember those spot the difference games? Or have you ever failed to notice when a friend gets a haircut? That's change blindness. Psychologists Simons and Levin did an experiment where a person asked for directions, and midway through, they were swapped with someone else behind a passing obstacle. Half the people didn't notice the switch. It shows that our perception isn't as flawless as we might think. This has big implications, like in eyewitness testimonies. Our brains take shortcuts, and that's okay. It just reminds us to be more attentive, or not to trust our memory completely. Phenomenon 9. The anchoring effect. Anchors away. Let's dive into the anchoring effect. This is when we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive, aka the anchor, when making decisions. Imagine you're shopping for a car. The dealer shows you a high-priced model first. Suddenly, the next car, which is slightly less expensive, seems like a bargain, even if it's still over your budget. See what's happening? Retail stores use this all the time with original price versus sale price tags. Our brains are influenced by that initial number. When negotiating salaries or making big purchases, being aware of the anchoring effect can help us make more rational decisions. Don't let that first number sway you. Do your research and set your own anchors. Phenomenon 10. The Asch conformity experiments. Last but definitely not least, we've got the Asch conformity experiments. Solomon Asch conducted tests where participants were asked to match line lengths. Seems simple, right? But here's the twist. Actors in the group intentionally gave wrong answers. The real participant often conformed to the group's incorrect choice, even when it was obviously wrong. Why? Because of the pressure to fit in. We've all felt that nudge to go along with the crowd, whether it's wearing certain trends, trying the latest fads, or even agreeing with opinions we don't actually share. In the age of social media, this effect is amplified. Seeing everyone like or share something can influence our own behaviors. The key takeaway? It's okay to stand out and have your own opinions. Embracing individuality leads to authenticity. Conclusion. Wow, that was a whirlwind tour of the human mind, wasn't it? Let's quickly recap. The bystander effect shows us the importance of stepping up. Cognitive dissonance highlights our struggle with conflicting beliefs. Confirmation bias reminds us to keep an open mind. The placebo effect reveals the power of belief. The Dunning-Kruger effect teaches humility and the value of self-awareness. The Pygmalion effect demonstrates how our expectations can uplift others. The halo effect warns us about snap judgments. Change blindness humbles us about our perception limits. The anchoring effect equips us to make better decisions. The Asch conformity experiments encourage us to be true to ourselves. Understanding these phenomena gives us a sneak peek into the complex, and sometimes quirky, workings of our minds. We're all subject to these biases and effects, but with awareness comes the power to change. So next time you catch yourself or others in one of these situations, you'll know what's up. And maybe, just maybe, it'll help you navigate life a bit more smoothly. Call to action. Hey, thanks for sticking around till the end. Which of these psychology phenomena blew your mind the most? Got any personal stories or aha moments? Drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the human psyche, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more content like this. We're just scratching the surface here. Stay curious, stay open-minded, and I'll catch you in the next video where we'll explore even more fascinating topics about us humans. Until then, peace out.